If you're AJ Preller and you can extend one of these players who are under contract through 2025, who would you extend? You have Dylan Cease, who has put together 8 brilliant starts by and large. There was one that wasn't as good, but he's had 7 really good starts, including today. He's 28 years of age.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Luis Arraez, who's 27. He is a 2-time batting champion by the age of 27. His career batting average is 325?
324 right now.
Okay, 324. Both are signed through 2025. Who do you choose to extend and why? Now, all things aren't equal. We're not saying you get both of the players for 3 years, X amount of dollars. Cease, as a pitcher, would cost more than Luis Arraez as a primarily hitter for average, so to speak. So who do you extend and why?
I kind of don't think it's really that hard. It's Dylan Cease to me. Pitching is the most important thing in baseball, and you need a frontline starting pitcher, and he's a frontline starting pitcher. Now, the age does kind of a little bit concern me if you give him like a 6-year deal. Like if he, because
that's the thing, he's going to get an offer of 5+ years
because you know who his agent is, and
right,
he's not anywhere close to Blake Snell. This guy will be snatched up very quickly.
But hear me out, and I'm with you. I'm choosing Cease.
He would be a guy that teams would bid against for.
But hear me out. Your last 2 starting pitching extensions, Musgrove 5 for 100, Jury out, and I'm putting it lightly.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Darvish, 7 for whatever it was, the weirdest deal ever. They lowered the AAV,
7 for 118.
Jury's still out.
Yeah.
Even with his last 2 starts have been great, but Jury obviously still out. So those are your last 2 starting pitching extensions. You passed on Snell, understandable. Maybe could have had him for a year or 2, but completely understandable. So you just know that going in, that you're always one pitch away from something, but there's nothing more valuable than starting pitching. But you also know how I don't even know what the right word is. You never know if it's going to pan out. Look at all these free agent deals.
I know.
In recent baseball history with starting pitching, and then there's Luis Arraez, who's not getting near the money, and it's probably just going to hit.
Here's the thing with Dylan Cease. He is a starting pitcher that you build a rotation around.
Mm-hmm.
Luis Arraez is not a player you build a offense and team around.
It's hard to build an offense around any one player. I mean, they've spent so much money trying to build an offense around Manny, Toddy, Soto, Bogey. So, yeah, you're right.
Luis Arraez is like a really, 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 really good. And this is not a diss on Luis Arraez, but he's an amazing complementary piece that kind of makes everything go, and he fits. If you have a good offense and you put him at the top of your lineup, it just makes that much. It makes it even better because he's a guy that's never going to strike out. He's going to get on base a lot, and he's going to hit over 300.
He has a skill set that isn't as coveted today as than when Tony Gwynn broke in 42 years ago.
Correct.
Okay, it's just not. It's a great skill set.
Yep.
Nobody doesn't want men on base. Everyone does. But what do we hear about Soto? Oh, he walks too much. What are you going to hear about Arraez? A lot of singles.
Well, you expect so. The reason why people got mad at Soto is because they wanted to hit like 45 home runs.
But he's never been that guy.
I know he's not.
Not once. He's got a world championship. He's off to an amazing start in the Bronx this year with the Knicks. He's not going to hit 45 home runs.
Yeah, he's amazing with the Knicks.
The Knicks, he's even better with the Yankees.
That 3-pointer he hit that one time? That
he's like
great.
Jalen Brunson.
He's better.
You put Brunson and Soto in the same backcourt, it's like Judge and Soto.
Better.
Anyway, you get my point.
I get your point.
I'm going to choose C. I also would say it's risk reward. There's a way higher upside. There's also a big risk. Like, give me a dollar figure. Let's say you could extend him out after 2024, and let's say he finishes the year with a sub-3 ERA. Let's just say that. 2.9 ERA, 16-7. Who cares, right? I'm not even talking about dollar figure-wise for a 28-year-old. So, give him. Okay, so he's got 2025 already, but let's say you could extend him out this offseason.
So what does he do this year? Finish top 3 in Cy Young?
Sure, top 5.
Top 5, and then
sub-3 ERA.
All right, and then
now I sign him right then and there.
Oh, right then and there
to a 5-year deal. So I have him through age 34. I mean, how much money are we talking about to get him for 5 years through age 29, 30, 31, 32, 33? A lot.
I'm trying to. hold on, because the player that I would comp him to, just like with his stuff. Now, hear me out. Garrett Cole. Dominant.
Well, that's a pretty significant high. Right. Yeah.
You telling me
Look,
that
but Cole's got like the richest long-term deal, like in right? What was 300 plus?
324 million. I don't think it's gonna be that high for a Dylan Cease, but I would.
Well, that's why it's a good question. Who would you
I
extend?
would definitely expect, if he continues on this trajectory that he is this year with the Padres and finishes the season in top 5 Cy Young, right?
How old was Cole when he
3
signed
of
that
his
deal?
last 4 years have been dominant. Well, not dominant, but really, really good. He's a consistent pitcher. He gives you innings. I would suspect he's probably going to ask for around, and with Boris as his agent, between 220 and 250.
You know, it's amazing you say it, because he signed that deal in 2020. He's now 33 and 251 days. He was like 29. And Cease is going to be the same age. Yeah, right. He'll be 28, 29. You're right. You got 324. And even if he's not going to command that type of contract, you're right. I mean, 200 million. But that's why it's not an easy question to answer. Yeah, it's easy for me to say extend Dylan Cease until you realize the price tag attached to him. One of the biggest deals in Padres history, even with all these big deals, if you go sign a pitcher to a $225 million deal. Meanwhile, Luis Arraez comes relatively cheap, so to speak.
When did he sign that deal with the Yankees? 2020, right?
Prior to 2020.
Okay. So if I'm looking at
he was 29.
Okay. All right.
Yep. And he signed through age 38.
Yeah. Garrett Cole was better than Dylan Cease for a longer period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just a better pitcher than Dylan Cease. So I would say if Garrett Cole's getting 324, I would say 220 to 250.
Yeah, you look at some of Cole's seasons heading into 2020.
They're really good.
288, 25, you had a 26 in there. He had a couple years where he was more average. But no, you're right. He probably had a better track record at that point. But the point is the point, and the point you make is valid. And that's why when pressed to make a decision like that, that's a serious decision.
Yeah.
Like a serious decision. Everyone sees the rewards. If he pitches like this, great. Lock him up as long as you possibly can. But can you guarantee this out into the future? No, of course not. Of course you can't.
And they probably went into this knowing who his agent is and hoping if you get 2 seasons of really good pitching from this guy,
you take it.
You take it. It's the same thing with Luis Arraez. If you get 2 full seasons of a 320 hitter at the top of your lineup, and he ends up going to free agency and gets this massive contract, you kind of live with it, because this is what you're playing for. You're playing for the now. You're playing to win in the next 2 years, this year, next year. Like, this is when you have to strike. And if you don't, then it's going to look pretty ugly on the other side, potentially, if the stars that are under these massive contracts continue to decline.
No, you're right. And the truth is, the Padres somehow tried to finagle and keep their rosters together over this recent run through Peter Seidler's era. But you're not keeping Cease and Arraez and Kimmy and Proe even. Like, you're not keeping everyone, especially when everyone comes off a good year. Like, when guys come off good years, you can't keep them for forever. If they extend, honestly, I have no idea who, out of Arraez, Cease, Kimmy, I have no idea if anyone's going to be here beyond 2025 out of that group. Maybe not.
Well,
Kim's only through this
first
year.
One, yeah.
But then the other 2 through 2025. But again, if they produce, it's all good.
That's all you ask for, man. Just produce, and we'll worry about that when the time comes. That's why last year you're like, with Blake Snell, he produced. You worried about it when the time came, but everybody kind of had an understanding, like, he's gone, but he did what he needed to do here. He won a Cy Young with this team.
Yeah, it was good.
He got his money. No, you would never pay Blake Snell that type of money either. No. So that was out of the question for sure. But
yeah, I'd give Cease the 1-year deal that Snell got, or 2-year deal, whatever. But that's not going to happen.
A 2-year, $75 million deal.
Yeah, it'd be even more than that probably.
Yeah.